Hey guys, welcome back to Viscera Cleanup Detail with your boy William. When we last left off, we made a little bit more progress. It's been slow, but we've been having a good time just chatting up. We were talking about a little bit more about the start of my YouTube channel and about a few tips for growth that I've found over the years. But I think it's enough about talking about YouTube. We've talked about YouTube a lot, so I think now I'm just going to talk a little bit more about myself. So yeah, I'm gonna tell a few childhood stories, because I know that some of you are most likely interested in where I grew up. I'm gonna fix all this stuff on the wall first so you can actually hear me. I hope I don't set the wall on fire. Please don't set the wall on fire. Good. This is actually working. Sometimes when I play this by myself, the wall just catches on fire and I have to go get the, that lift thingy. The harm. And I need to go clean up smoke from the top of the ceiling, and it's really annoying. Alright, goody goody. Yay! I'm quite frankly confused as to how this fixes anything. Oh goodness. Oh, there is smoke. Oh no, well that's a problem. Alright, let me fix this. I don't know how to make this work, quite frankly. It's all a mystery to me. Come on, no. No. There we go. Yeah, so I think that one of the first stories that I can't tell you guys exactly where I was born yet because of privacy issues on the internet, but know that I was born in Western Washington. I was born in Washington State. It is a wonderful place to live. I can agree. Fun fact: it's the only state in the union that has I think all registered types of biomes in it. So we've got a rainforest, we've got a desert, we've got flatlands, we've got mountains, we've got forests. We got everything. Everything that you could ever want is in Washington State. And it's a beautiful state. It is absolutely beautiful. Until the summer comes, and then the air is filled with smoke, which is not fun, ever. But I was born and raised in Washington. I've lived here all my life. It's been a wonderful experience growing up. When I was a very young boy, we moved to the house that I currently live in, or my parents currently live in. I've been living there for like 20 years. I remember my mom was looking around for upgraded places because at this time my mother was pregnant with my sister, and I was 2 years old. So we were just looking around the neighborhood, wondering where would be the best place to raise a family. And we didn't. My parents were kind of confused as to exactly where to look because it had been a big move is concerning. You want to make sure that you're moving to the right spot. And there we go, okay. You want to make sure that you're moving to the right spot. So, they were looking around. They found the house that we, are currently living in. I was a terrible 2-year-old, still in diapers. And, I was a rambunctious little boy. I would never sit still when my family was changing my diaper. And, apparently, while they were touring the house, my father was in charge of changing my diaper so that I wouldn't, have an accident in the middle of the house while we were getting a tour of it. But my mom was just out looking around the house. I somehow got loose from my father. And apparently I ran into the big living room. I looked around, I nodded, and then I just whizzed right there on the carpet. Like, even as a 2-year-old, I'm like, yep, this is where we're gonna live. And I'm little cute 2-year-old naked boy running around the house and whizzing all over the floor. And my mother was embarrassed. The landlord was just busting a gut laughing. It was fantastic. But at that point, I'd like to think that I had influence on exactly how it worked. There we go. Okay, that's done. Jeez, now I gotta clean that smoke off. I'd like to think that I had a little bit of influence on how I got our very first family home, because I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna pee on everything, and that's how we claim things. That's how it works in the wild. You pee on stuff, it is yours. So I'm like, this is gonna be my home, so I'm gonna pee on it. And hey, we've been living there happily for several years. It used to be surrounded by a big, wonderful forest on multiple sides, but since then, it's grown into. There have been several gated communities or big suburban communities that have been spawned around. So it used to be surrounded by beautiful forests, and I go run in there as a kid. I've run into the forest as a kid, and I'd look for the tree house that had been made there like 40 years ago, the really old tree house. But since then, they've torn that forest down, and that tree house is now gone, and now it's just suburbia. Which makes me really sad, because there's a sort of security that came with the forest being right next to you. I like the idea of, hey, I am secure here. There is a forest that is surrounding me in a warm, protective green hug. So I'm kind of sad that the forest has gone away, but I mean, what can you do? And now I live outside of that family home, so I don't have to worry about it terribly much. But it still makes me sad every time I go back there and there's no forest. It's like a part of my childhood is killed. All right, here. This smoke is gonna go away. Go away. I think that's good. Did we get everything? Let's see any smoke. I think we're fine. I think we're good. We are A-okay. But yeah, I effectively chose our family house because I decided I was gonna pee everywhere. When I was younger, just about school age, my parents took me to a very conservative preschool for good Christian boys. And I mean, I didn't pay it much mind. I was too young to actually understand that this was a Christian preschool that I got sent to. But afterwards, I got sent to a very, very small K-8 school, where I spent a good chunk of my developing years at. And it was, when I say small, I mean very small. I mean like K-8. The entire school was probably 250 people. It was very, very small compared to the other elementary schools that easily boasted about 3,000 kids. Ours was very small because my mother wanted to put me in a place where I would get the best education. I mean, I'd like to think that I was a pretty smart cookie when I was a wee baby. Instead of, going out to socialize with kids, I would play like educational video games like Carmen Sandiego or Jumpstart or Math Blaster. Those kinds of things. I'd play those games all the time when I realistically probably should have been outdoors playing with friends. Now, biohazard box, do not spill. No, I see you. Don't you spill. You are A-okay. And I'm going to put you very gently into the incinerator. Good. We're good. Okay, good. That could have been a disaster, but it wasn't. But yeah, I was pretty antisocial as a kid. I would like to play video games more than I'd like to socialize with people, and that mindset still really hasn't changed. I mean, I'm more extroverted, but only with the right group of people. For the most part, if I have the opportunity to go out and party and get drunk, or stay inside and play video games, I would gladly choose the video games. Because I have a form of control when I play video games, and I don't usually have that in the real world. Dude, Jacob, come on, get off your ass. Come on, we got work to do. Come on. Fine, you don't want to get up? I'll send you straight to the incinerator, and you can just spend out your days in there. There you go. Have a good time, my dude. But yeah, I was a pretty antisocial kid, and so going to this small school where you're kind of forced to interact with everybody because there are very few people and you can't just hide in the crowd. It was nice. My experience at that school, although we had a pretty universally disliked principal. We had a universally disliked principal. Even the other faculty, you could clearly tell like they did not like the way that they ran things. Other than the universally disliked principal, it was a very nice place to grow up, and I made several friends there that I still keep in contact with to this day. I mean, there's one guy I know, and he's still one of my closest friends. We hang out. He showed me how to shoot a gun. We go golfing together on occasion whenever I'm back at my home. It's nice. It's nice to have some friends that are just going to be there forever, and I got some really close friends at that school. But yeah, I worked my way through the grades as diligently as a young boy could. I remember there was one particular teacher that really got on my nerves. It was my 3rd grade teacher. We had a change in staffing when I was going through the schooling system. So my 1st grade teacher also turned out to be my 3rd grade teacher because they just shifted who would be in charge of who. I don't know why they did that, but they did. And in 1st grade, I had an absolutely wonderful time, sticking crayons up my nose, having a good time. This is not coming out. There we go. Sticking crayons up my nose, having a great old time. Get out of there. There we go. Yeah, I had a great time. But 2nd grade also wonderful. We had a teacher that would in order to teach the kids how to responsibly care for something, she would give us all a Clifford the Big Red Dog stuffy toy, And every week it was your responsibility to care for the toy, to write a journal entry of what you did. You were supposed to take him to at least one social event, so I took him to a karate class. And that dog was there on the day that I got promoted up one of my belts. Which, at this point, the belt is given to you if you go to the test and effectively just, like, say hello. It wasn't very hard. But it was still pretty cool to have a little plushie. Granted, that thing must have been just a biohazard. That could not have been a clean plushie at all. But it was fun to get to carry around this thing. It's like, hey, look, the class pet is now mine for a week. It was fun. But yeah, first grade was fun. Second grade was a blast. Then third grade hit, and I had the same teacher, but for some reason, that teacher was just not in a good mood. Maybe I was just being a little shit, but I'd like to think the teacher was just being a bully. And I mean, I can't remember all the fine details. My mother mostly filled me in on most of these. But apparently, and I remember one instance very clearly, I was upset for some reason. And I remember the teacher held me in class because I wasn't doing well. And she said harshly, "You can't go outside to recess unless you start smiling." Which, I mean, if I'm getting denied recess as a kid, and I'm not smiling because of that, telling me you can't go to recess unless you smile isn't exactly going to help the problem. She handed me a hand mirror and just, like, said, "You're gonna smile or else you're not gonna go out," and which was a bit not okay. Apparently, she also, and my mother filled me in on this one, when you're a third grader, you're occasionally assigned, like, art assignments. Go home, draw this thing, and then come back and show the class what you've drawn. So I went home and I worked for a couple hours on making the best drawing that I could. And granted, I was a third grader, so it's not like I was a Picasso or anything. But I'd like to think that I put a pretty solid effort. I was proud of what I did. And I went to turn it in, and I gave it to the teacher in front of the class, and she looks at me, says it's unacceptable, and then rips it up in front of the entire class, like sits there and just rips it up right in front of me. And if that was the same day where I was upset to go to recess, I now totally understand why. She effectively was a bully. She was effectively a bully. I think she did force all the students to learn the harmonica too, which I learned it a little bit. I've since definitely forgotten that to play. But yeah, I was not in a good mood. Obviously, I'd come home crying. My mom would be like, "Yeah, this is." My mom would think, "Oh God, oh no, oh no, oh jeez." Okay, we're good. No, let me. You stupid security camera. But my mother caught wind of all this stuff. Because I'd come home crying and upset, and she'd be like, "Oh, you're just, like, oh, stop being a baby. The teacher's not mean, you're just overreacting." But then she heard details, from other parents that were having similar issues. And she found out, yeah, this teacher is doing some not okay things. So she called the school, and she, actually got a one-on-one meeting with the, oh, dang it. Come on, you stupid lift, come on. She apparently got into a one-on-one meeting with the teacher in question, and I have no idea what she said, but after that meeting, suddenly that third grade teacher became my best friend. My absolute best friend. "How you doing today, Will? You having a good day?" And she would just always be upbeat and chipper to an annoying degree. And even as a third grader, I realized, okay, my mom definitely said something. But yeah, that third grade was abysmal for me. Second grade was pretty fun. First grade was pretty fun. All the grades were pretty smooth. Yeah, the rest of my experience there was pretty smooth. Still, my 6th, 7th, 8th grade middle school teachers, I consider some of the best educators that I'd ever met. They were supportive, but they weren't not themselves. They weren't intentionally trying to put up a facade in order to impress the kids. They were being themselves, and I admired them about them. There were a couple teachers that there are a couple of teachers where I could obviously tell, even as a 6th grader, like, okay, you're clearly putting on a show, and this isn't actually what you're like. But the ones that would come up and would not pretend to be someone they weren't, I respected that. Even as a kid, I always respect that. I respect that authenticity. I'd still consider some of them among some of my best friends. One of them I learned actually is indirectly related to me. I think like his great-grandmother is my grandfather's cousin or something along those lines. It's a distant relationship, but technically we were family. And so, like, he learned this during 8th grade, and he had a really fun time exploiting that. Because effectively he's like, hey cuz, how you doing? And he'd like he'd like push me lightly into the wall, and I'd just like drop everything. And like, just like the way you'd like come up to a good friend that you just like giving shit to. You'd come up to them and you'd like give them a smack on the back that was just a little bit too hard to be acceptable, but you're like, okay, he's just giving me shit. That's effectively what this teacher would do to me. And whenever everyone saw me getting shoved to the wall, they're like, what's the matter with you? And I'm like, no, don't worry, this is totally normal. This is totally normal. We're related, so it's okay. But yeah, even to this day, I consider him a very, very close friend. Now, granted, we're generations apart, but I still feel like if I needed to come to him for anything, I could do it. Yeah, I had a good time. Don't you do this? No, wee-ha! Hell yeah! All right, I'm just gonna clean up the blood around here. Just clean the blood. I just want the blood to get out of the way. Nope, that's not gonna be enough. All right, try it again. This relocation mechanism is annoying as all hell. But yeah, I grew up in a fenced community, or not a fenced community, a forested community. I had a great time growing up. My K-8 experience with a few hiccups was pretty smooth. And I went into high school feeling ready. I was ready and excited to go to high school. And I had a pretty good time in high school. I will talk more about that in the next episode, because I just realized I'm again running out of time, because I like to ramble, and I like talking about these things, and I hope you guys like listening to them. If you think it's rambling, you can yell at me in the comments and say, hey, Will, shut up, you're rambling. But until you do, I'm just going to assume that everything is A-okay. Here, get out of here. I'll breathe you later. And you, go away. Go away. Go away. I'm just gonna fling this all out here and worry about it later. Get out of here. How about you? You go out of there too. Hey, yo. Boop. There we go. Here, you can go out here too, and you can go out here, and I'm just making a mess, but I'm effectively reorganizing everything. Oh, I found the head! I found the head. Look at him. How you doing, man? I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing it okay. There you go. Get out of there. Remind me to get that head. I need that head. Ooh, Mr. Seymour Butts. Nice. I enjoy that name very much. Alright, good. Here, you can go in my special box, where I store all the IDs and all the everything. Let me clear out this place before I end the episode. But yeah. That is my elementary and early life experience. There's not terribly much that's interesting about it. It was a fun time. I enjoyed it. And then high school came along, and new interesting things started to happen. And I will tell you guys about those scenarios in the next episode, because for now we have run out of time. So yes, thank you for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you have any more questions or want me to tell any more about my experiences in school, just so you know what you're gonna get into, I would be more than happy to share it with you guys. But yes, we made even more progress in this episode. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I want to remind you again that you are all part of a family. I love you all very much, and I want to see you all do great. So if you have anything at all you need to talk to me about, I am all ears. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been William from Starfruit Studios, and as always, I will see you guys in the next episode. Y'all take care.